Happy Devils Wednesday. This is the State of the Fan address. I am in the Bunker Studios right now. I am your host, Sam Wu, here with a new married man, Nick Villano of Pucks and Pitchforks blog, powered by Fansided. Nick, these are the first words on the podcast that I am talking to you as you are a married man. And I feel like you've matured quite a bit in the last few days.
Platypus. I just wanted the first word I said on the podcast to be platypus because you said I was mature, and that's a lie.
Hey, I just got to do a shout-out to the people on Facebook Live. Cheryl Miller says they just scored when you guys came on. David Perlmutter said, nice play by Sammy on that goal. David says, congratulations on your wedding. What a goal by Sammy, 5-3. It's actually all Melissa Dawn, our esteemed producer of the Let's Go Devils podcast. I just got off the phone with her about 15 minutes ago, and I said, Melissa, bring me a power play goal. I was sick of all this losing. And the Devils are winning. The Devils are winning right now. But that's not what we're going to be talking about on episode 28 of the State of the Fan address, which is getting very, very, very popular. Nick, I don't know if you saw that email that I forwarded to you by one of our fans. I asked him, where did he find us? He said the Pucks and Pitchforks blog. I thought that was very interesting. Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
We still have a lot to talk about. Even, obviously we're going to, talk about bits and pieces of this game. But, if we talk about this game before it ends, then it's not going to live on very well, Sam, especially now, because we got the 2-goal lead. The, what do they call it? The worst lead in hockey is the 3-goal lead. Well, the worst lead in New Jersey Devils hockey is the 2-goal lead. So I don't want to celebrate just yet. This is the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm still very worried, but I'm not. I'm very excited to be leading. I like leading. I like being in the lead, just like we are the leading New Jersey Devils podcast when it comes to comments and other things. I don't know. That's your plug. I try to transition that, but you're a little better at that than me.
Oh, also, if you go to Apple Podcasts, Nick, guess what? You type in New Jersey Devils. You type in New Jersey Devils in Apple Podcasts. We show up number 1. I'm not kidding around. I was like dumbfounded. I was like, we didn't even show up at all like a few weeks ago. Now we show up.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny how that all works out.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. So, all right. So let's get to the topics. Yeah, we should really shut up because I'm looking at the Facebook Live and people are giving score updates. And here we go again. I think it's, the season so far is been a roller coaster of emotions. Just no consistency whatsoever, Nick. It's driving me nuts. I miss the good old days of Devils hockey where you get a 1-goal lead, you just shut it down, and then you go home with the victory. Others and pundits would say that is boring hockey, but to me, winning solves everything, right?
I mean, I hope so. I don't know. So obviously I got married over the week, so I disconnected a little bit, but I've obviously paid attention to the Devils game. I saw the bits and pieces of the game against Arizona. It seemed like it was more of the same. Get a lead, get a bigger lead, blow the lead, lose the game. This time in regulation, getting no points out of a 2-goal lead at home against a team that's also kind of floundering. They're kind of, we don't really know where the Arizona Coyotes are going. So, you can't even hang your hat on the fact that, like, the teams that we lost to were playing well. like Edmonton and Winnipeg. I don't know. It seemed like that they were playing well out of the gate, and then they just fell apart again. And that's going to be the worry for a long time. It's going to be hard to trust this team going to the third with the lead when they played so terribly in the third period.
Yeah, and Christopher Jacobs, Jacobus, I don't know how to pronounce that. So sick of giving up a goal the next shift after scoring. I mean, that's just a recurring theme right now, and I'm getting sick of it too, as well, Christopher. So it's like there's no security blanket with this team, and it keeps you up at night. Let's put it that way. I mean, you can't shut off that TV, but sometimes I want to. Sometimes I want to Sometimes I just want to turn off the TV or just go home, by the second period if you have the lead, because I just don't want to see the collapse, because that just seems like a recurring theme. But why are they blowing these leads? Could you give some kind of analysis on that? Like, what's your take? Why are they blowing these leads? Are they just it's just they're not mentally tough, or what is it?
So it's hard to say. The one of the reasons is I think that the goaltending gets tired of, the defense makes the entire team has been making mistakes all game long. It seems that Schneider and Blackwood have an easier time in the first and second period making some miraculous saves. You just kind of, as the game wears on, you're not as sharp, you're not as fresh, so you can't make those side-to-side plays as good as you did before. So I think that has a little bit to do with it. I think I think that the system kind of is made, I think the system is made to hold leads, and it's much less aggressive in the third as they play to not lose. And we hear this all the time. You can't play to not lose. You can't play to keep leads. You have to play to extend leads. You have to play to, keep the pressure on and push and continue to put pucks on the net. When you're getting outshot by nearly double in the third period on some nights, that just shows that there's something missing there. Like, you can't have that. You can't ever be outshot by double.
Yeah. What are they going to do to rectify this problem? I mean, it's been, I mean, this was going on the last several years, if you think about it. Now, here's the glass half full scenario. Hey, at least they got the lead. It's better than always having to come from behind. But with all that firepower, I don't know. I mean,
I'd much rather the Devils. I'd much rather the Devils always be losing than blowing leads and lose the game, personally, because now every time the Devils have a lead, I kind of, my whole body tightens up for the final 20 minutes every single game. And I'm just waiting for, that negativity to seep in. And I don't want to be like that, Sam. I want to be positive about our New Jersey Devils. I want to be excited about our New Jersey Devils. And they're making it hard, aren't they? This season has been so hard. Last season was terrible. I'm not going to lie to you. I hated it, and it's funny because the blog actually did well with the people who were, excited to still read about their New Jersey Devils. Maybe they use it as an escape, whatever the case may be. The fans were still excited to read and to consume your content, to consume all content, despite the team not doing well. But it's hard to just watch this team game in and game out and kind of telling the same story over and over again. And now this season, it was all supposed to be different. They have a high-powered offense. They have a better defense. They finally got their number one guy in PK Subban Schneider looked like he was a different player. Mackenzie Blackwood looked like he was ready to be the number one guy parts of the season. But then, the narrative continues to be the same of the New Jersey Devils will continue to blow leads and break hearts. And I just don't – they got to do something different. That's the thing is that, and the game just got tied. So now it's 5-5. They blew another lead.
Fair.
I don't.
You know what? I need to play this.
All right, I'm gonna kind of go off because I'm mad now. I didn't come back for this. This is ridiculous. You can't keep doing this. Do something different. Something. And not take Nikita Gusev out of the lineup. That's not the answer. The guy came into this game tied for your leading goals. You're gonna because why? Because you don't like how he's playing defense, but he just came off his best underlying numbers game of his career here, and you're gonna sit him down with Patrick Elias? Fine, sure. I don't know if you know this, Sam, but tape exists. You can record these games. You could do it all in the NHL app, and you know what Patrick Elias could do with Nikita Gusev? He could watch his own tape. He could watch himself skate. How does it help him watch Kevin Rooney going up and down this ice and telling him what Kevin Rooney is doing right and wrong? How does that help Nikita Gusev sitting next to Patrick Elias watching that? I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. This needs to be changed because this isn't working. Over and over and over and over and over again. They come out of the third period flat and they get beat every single time because the other team is just providing more effort. And the other team is putting it into that extra gear when they're down. And the Devils are just sitting back with their sphincters closed, hoping that it works out. And it never does. So I don't know what to say, Sam. I don't know. I don't know how to change it because everything I say means nothing because they're not changing anything. They're changing things that don't mean, they're just changing lines. They're hurting chemistry. They're not doing the things that they should be doing, period. They're not changing the things that need to be changing, and they're changing the things that don't need to be changed. So, there.
When we started the season and we looked at the schedule, Nick, one of the things that annoyed me was the month of October when some of these games were on a Wednesday night. And it's like, well, how do we do a podcast while the game's going on? We got to be careful with, not retransmitting, what's going on at the game and all that legal stuff. But I got to tell you, I kind of like this live looking dissection of the team while we're watching it live from the confines of our beautiful studios, down in Tampa and somewhere in beautiful New Jersey. I don't know if this sounds kind of childish, Nick, but I'm going to put a suggestion out there. For me personally, when things don't go right and you're having a bad day or just you've been trying and trying and trying billions of times, do you know what I do at that point? I feel like I'm running into a brick wall. So instead of start running into the brick wall over and over and over with the same result, I just try to get around it. And do you know how I get around it? I do completely opposite of what I'm doing right now. And there we go again. What kind of changes should the Devils make? At one point, there were a lot of fans, and it was too early to call. A lot of fans wanted John Hines fired. Then Tom Fitzgerald comes on the bench for 2 games. Then, okay, they got a reprieve. A week later, because of the stupid scheduling, they lose one. And now here we are with this game. Sorry, just going off on a tangent there. But what do you do at this point?
Sam, I mean, only the players are getting punished. I'm never going to call for someone's job because this is not how I do things. But you have to punish someone in some way, shape, or form. Whether you take away power from the coach or whatever it is. Maybe you have to shuffle some things around. Maybe you have to bring up Mark Dennehy and put him on the bench. Because putting on Tom Fitzgerald isn't working anymore. That was great for 2 games. It's not working anymore. Maybe, you have to send some of your assistant coaches down to the AHL. We did that to Pavel Zacha to hold him accountable last year. Well, the coaches are now the ones who need to be held accountable. So maybe we have to send them down to the AHL and do something like that and get them to see the game at a different speed, because something just doesn't seem to be, it seems to be going too fast for them right now. I don't know, Sam, this is terrible. In a word, this is awful. This is horrible to watch. This is not fun. We watch sports to have fun, Sam, and this has been the most unfun season I've had watching New Jersey Devils hockey ever. Like, how can you break hearts this much?
I'll read Doug's email that came in today. Doug is a Devils fan. He says, Sam, can't tell you how much I love the LGD podcast. You guys are a lifeline to the Devils. You all are awesome, yada, yada, yada. But there's one part in his email that, thank you so much for keeping me sane. It's almost like, as the podcast, we started season 3, Let's Go Devils podcast, this and that. It's almost like it's getting to the point where we're just like that lifeline. We should turn this into a call-in show, a call-in podcast where we just talk to Devils fans all over the world so they can just vent. Because right now, I mean, this is honestly, Nick, I know what you're saying, but Lou Lamoriello would have had people fired by now. And even with Hines after the 2-game winning streak and this and that, and you're changing up the lines too often. You can't have any kind of chemistry without any kind of continuity. It's almost like the way he shuffles the lines, and look. If he's shuffling the lines because he's trying to get the right matchup, well, I'm sorry. You're just a terrible coach at this point because it's not working. All right? You're getting out-coached. All right? I hate to be blunt about it. I never wanted to get into pissing fest, fire John Hines, but at some point, this has got to stop. This is unacceptable. It's unacceptable, especially for season ticket holders that put a lot of money down for an entire year to watch what? Them blow it again? The 3 words that I see on all Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit, here are the 3 words. Same old Devils. And it's starting to get louder and louder and louder since around 2013, 2014. Used to be a little bit here, a little there. But I hear the fans. I hear the fans right now. This is not pretty. This is not fun. It's not fun to do a State of the Fan Address podcast when losing is happening in the same fashion over and over and over again. And I get it. The players say, don't blame us. Don't blame the coaches. Well, I'm sorry. Somebody's got to go. Like I said, when things don't go my way, sometimes I just, when I've exhausted every single option, I just do completely opposite of what I've been doing just to see what would happen. And I got to tell you, thinking outside the box is maybe not a bad idea at this point. Making some changes with this club, it's not working.
You're right. Something's not working. Something's working terribly. It's just I'm at a loss, Sam. I'm really at a loss. I don't know what to say. I don't, and I need to know what to say, Sam, because I'm the person who's the voice doing the state of the fan. Do you know what the state of the fan is, Sam? It's bad. It's a bad state of affairs right now. Fans are turning on each other. Everybody's talking about tanking again. They want to trade Taylor Hall. They want to they want to fire the coach. The fans are done with this. We went through a whole year of this. We went through 5 years before 1 year before that. And at least those seasons they were competitive. This is pathetic. Sam, we're last in the league. I know we play less games than everybody, but we should never be last in the league with a team with this much talent. Period. So what's wrong?
Nick, how appropriate is the title of episode 28 of State of Fan Address? Love and marriage. Right now, we love the New Jersey Devils no matter what, unconditionally. We're practically married to the team as part of our Devils fandom. But the one part that sucks is for better and then it's for worse. You remember those lines a few days ago? I remember that about 3 years ago. The for worse sucks right now. Just absolutely sucks.
Sam, I feel like Al Bundy working at the shoe store because something stinks.
It's really funny. When I was preparing the show, I really wanted to break the rule and play that love and marriage, but there's copyright infringements and this and that. We don't want to get into that. But I was watching some old Al Bundy one-liners, from the shoe store. There was like a montage of it somewhere on Facebook, and I thought of you, Nick. I was laughing my butt off. But seriously, it's just a recurring theme. And you know what? Say what you want. And again, I probably would get myself in trouble saying this. I would love to have an ownership group freaking take their grievances out to the press. Like the old days. When Ed Snyder would get pissed off, he was the owner of the Flyers. Recently, he passed away. He would take it to the press. He'd be all fired up. I want to see some accountability. I'm tired of the apologies in the press and, oh, we're working on it. Just give us a little time. It's not the coaches. It's us. We're not doing it. Well, maybe you shouldn't have a Halloween party after that last loss. We saw all the pictures. This is so pathetic. And you know what? It's like, again, I know the Devils, they have to market the team and the players and this and that. I don't want to see freaking Blake Coleman on a cooking show. I want to see him practicing. I want to see him, I don't know, doing chalk talk or something like that. I think there's just too many distractions at this point, and I've been holding back saying this, Nick, and this is the first time I'm going to say this. I think all this social media stuff they're doing is great and everything, but there's one problem. There's one thing missing. You're not winning. I think there's a lack of focus right here because you can't be this talented and blowing these leads all the time. There's got to be something, and maybe that's what it is, a lack of focus. They're not focusing on 60 minutes of the game, all right? The coaching, I'm not so sure about that right now. With all the line shuffle, right?
Tampa just took the lead. Tampa took the lead in case you care.
Surprise, surprise, surprise. Let me guess. They're going to get an empty net goal sooner or later. Or maybe they don't need to because they're going to probably put up 3 more before this game's over. Got to be kidding me. You just got to be kidding me this game.
I'll tell you, Sam. I'm all right. Let me try to sit here for a second. Just try to formulate thoughts on what's happening. So this is now. First of all, Schneider's looks terrible. I mean, he let 6 goals again. That's not good. The defense looks terrible. And now Connor Carrick is out for a while. Looks like his pinky. He almost lost his pinky completely. So that's only going to get worse. I mean, Sam, what do you expect out of guys like Matt Tennyson? He's 29. He is what he is. He's an NHL defenseman. I'm sorry. You didn't just find a gem. Like, Blake Coleman's don't grow on trees. That happens once in a generation where a guy has this breakout after he's 25 years old. Heck, nowadays, if you're not good by 23, you go to the KHL because you're not good. That's how it works. The NHL is not at a place where you can figure it out that late. Yet we're giving this guy a lot of chances. Today he was playing with Subban at times. And maybe that was just line changes or whatever, but like that's going to happen. You're going to have your number 1 defenseman playing with Matt Tennyson. And no offense to the kid. He seems like a good kid. Seems like he's trying real hard, but he's 29. And he's never been more than an AHL defenseman. And he was a fine signing when he was depth only. But now he's in the NHL starting. That's a problem. That's a major problem. This defense, I mean, I don't know. Sam, I didn't see the 6 goals, so I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I can't tell you. This team, how do you fix it? You change everything. What you did didn't work. It didn't work. You put a lot thinking that Schneider was back, and it looks like he's not. And then you thought his backup in Blackwood could carry the team, and apparently he can't. And you brought in PK Subban to lead this defense to respectability. Is that all? That's all we asked for. Middle of the pack, top 20. He couldn't do that. It's still terrible. He brought in Gusev and Simmons and a healthy Taylor Hall and who's the person I'm missing? Doesn't matter. Who cares? And they're terrible. They're bad. Offense is bad. Defense is bad. The team is bad. It's a bad team. It's sad. Like, are we gonna go for Lafreniere again? Are we gonna go for number 1? Like, is that what this season is? And like, I get it. The Blues were in last place in January, but that happened literally once in this decade. I'd be surprised. I don't know. Here's the thing, Sam.
Let me ask. Let me interrupt. Let me ask Facebook Live. Do you guys really want to re-sign Taylor Hall for a long-term contract at this point and lock up that space?
Yeah, but what else are you going to do with that space that's better? You're going to sign what? JVR and Anthony Cirelli? Is that better than Taylor Hall?
But you know what, Nick? At this point, there's no point of having Taylor Hall on this team if you're going to be in the gutter. You might as well get some first rounders back on a trade.
Oh, I mean, I agree. I agree that maybe the pieces you get back are better at this serious point. Maybe. I haven't made that decision yet. I still would like to sign Taylor Hall personally because we've seen first-round picks, especially late first-round picks, go nowhere over and over again. So unless the deal I want to make right now, Sam, is to get Bowen Byram from Colorado, and then that would give me pause, and I would seriously consider and possibly do that right now because I think he's a stud defenseman who he might have been ready to go this year, but Colorado just didn't need him, so they sent him back to juniors. He could be. I think he's going to be ready to go next year. You pair him for the next 2 decades with Ty Smith, and then things are going to work out. And then you let Gusev possibly play first line left wing. See what he does with a ton of minutes. Just work out those mistakes, work out that defensive side of the puck, but get ample opportunities with Jack Hughes and Kyle Palmieri. It's not my least favorite option. I'll say that. I still would rather re-sign Taylor Hall because he's an amazing player. He's leading our team in assists despite still not being right after that knee surgery and coming back from that. Still a little tentative on things. But that's how I feel about Taylor Hall.
Do you think he'll re-sign at this point?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Exactly.
I don't. Why would he? Would you, Sam?
No, I wouldn't. That's what I'm saying. What do you do with Taylor Hall? You can't hold out too much longer. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent. There's no point of having him now if this team is going to act like this and have these kind of results in the next 3 months. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being irrational, emotional, just like most fans. Maybe we're panicking too early, but this is the same crap that's happening over and over and over and over. I'm almost about to rename this episode 28 to Same Old Devils. Actually, I could change it on the fly if you like me to. But anyway.
Here's the thing, Sam. I was coming into this podcast hopeful, A, because the Devils were winning, and because I'm stupid and I still let them do this to me. And B, because the Devils play, 16 games in the next 32 days. So they don't have time to think about October. They literally have a game every other day. And I thought that maybe that would help them. Maybe that Western Conference trip would help them. What are you doing? Why are you waving at me?
No, I'm not waving. I'm just blowing air at the camera.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I thought that would give them a chance to play every night. Forget the fact that you've blown these leads. You can't let it get in your head. Play differently. Play aggressively. Go every night. Go. That'll give an opportunity to get Jesper Boquist in the lineup. That'll give an opportunity to get these young guys some reps, some camaraderie, build some chemistry. It's not all practice. It's gameplay. You have to fix those mistakes on the fly. That's when you should be fixing those mistakes. Practice clearly isn't helping. You had 4 days off. You blew another lead. You had 5 days off. You blew another lead. Like, what? It's the same thing. You're right. It's the same old stuff every single time, Sam, and it's not changing. And, apparently the Devils tied it. Do you think they heard me yelling all the way from Tampa?
That's exactly what's happening. I bet you they have one of their phones on the bench and they're like, oh, these guys are pissed. Episode 28, it's looking like it's going to be bad by the time this game ends. But the fans are booing. Every time they touch it, it's like it's 6-6. You know what? Let's not even get happy. You know what? Let's be the negative Devils fan, okay? Maybe we're going to change it up because we've been pretty positive so far this season. Let's just be negative. Oh, they tied it up. What? So it's going to take them longer to lose? Make everybody stay for what? Another 3-on-3 loss, or they're going to blow it in the shootout? Come on. Oh, well, at least we got a point. Yeah, a useless point. It's not like you're going to go anywhere.
That was a little too. You went far there in the negativity, Sam. You really dug down deep into the depths for that negative rant there. Listen, like, I'm still mad. You still had a 2-goal lead. Good, you bounced back. Oh, wonderful. I mean, Kyle Palmieri is one of the only people that have been consistent this year, and he scored 3 goals tonight. So at least we got that. I enjoy that. I enjoy the fact that we have something to live about, but that still doesn't change the fact. That still doesn't change the fact that you blew a 2-goal lead again in the third period. Again, that's a problem. You got to change that. You got to fix that.
JD and Balin basically say still 7 seconds left to screw it up.
I mean, what? How many times have we let the other team score in 7 seconds? It's a joke, but it's a joke. So Sam, I mean, my wedding was such a whirlwind of emotions of me yelling at people and then having the happiest day of my life and then yelling at other people and then paying big amounts of money and then, like up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And then I come home and then the Devils game is 10 times worse. How is the Devils game worse than a wedding? How?
Well, yeah, I remember my wedding. There's that part where you didn't realize you got to tip everybody.
I tipped everybody. I'm a very generous tipper. So
yeah,
everybody was very happy.
My wife had me handle that department, and and I think I forgot what happened, but I think I had all like the tip money and all that in a separate bag in a closet and this and that. I remember going there towards the end of the wedding to make sure that I had it. I couldn't find it for about 10 minutes. I was in a panic. Like, where the heck did the money go?
You just wanted to keep that money. You were like, sorry, guys. Sorry, staff. I guess I lost the money.
Yeah. What? You guys didn't know? The Woos are cheap tippers? I'm just kidding. No. I was in a panic at that point, but eventually I did find the money and this and that and whatever. But I mean, it was a heck of a wedding, and Arlette was there. She sang.
I saw
that first dance. Yeah, that was probably the best move I've ever made without consulting my wife or my fiance at the time. I just actually made that decision over like a couple lyrics over the phone. Oh yeah, you got the part. Go knock yourself out, Arlette. You can sing it. That sounded great. And she only sang like 5 words.
It worked out.
Hey,
huh?
Yeah, everything. You know what? Maybe this is the theme. Now we're talking about marriage. Everything works itself out in the end. In the end.
Yeah, and just like my marriage to my wonderful Katrin, my marriage to the Devils is going nowhere, whether they win or lose. As long as they don't move, I think I'm Devils for life.
Yeah, could you imagine if they moved? Could you imagine if the owners flipped it to an ownership
Yeah,
group?
let's not even put that out there. I'm sorry, I'm taking that back. Don't take New Jersey's only team, please, for the love of everything. Just stop.
I wouldn't know what to do at that point.
I don't even know. Is there? I feel like there might be more room on the Blackhawks bandwagon now that they're not good anymore. Maybe we could jump on the Blackhawks. I don't know. We'll just pick another red and black team.
Cheryl Miller said, weddings are cool. We got married on the beach with a small reception. We had guests wear shorts. Was Shorts Guy invited to that wedding? Anyway.
Oh, we lost.
Tom McConnell says we lost. Try lost. See, you see what happens when this team sucks.
We let 7 goals.
Absolutely sucks. Call Palmieri. You get a hat trick. Doesn't matter. You just prolonged the misery. That's all you did. Thanks a lot. Yeah, we salvaged the point. I'm tired of that 1 point. I want 2 points in regulation every single time. 7 goals. You gave up 7 goals. When will they gotta have me in that locker room. I gotta coach this team. They're just not getting it done.
I'll tell you
Mike
this, Sam.
Says 1 point, yippee.
Sam, I'll tell you this. You couldn't do worse. They have, 7 points after 10 games? Worse than the Eastern Conference? They had a Tampa Bay Lightning team on the ropes, and they blew it. Absolutely blew it. Again, I mean, it's just like, I don't even know what to say anymore. I feel like I did this last week or in the week before. We did 2 podcasts the week before. That sounded the exact same as this. Sam, I don't know what to say.
I heard you crack open a beer, so I decided to start drinking. I picked a hell of a day to start drinking on the podcast.
I mean, why not? What else are we going to do? You got to drink. I drink so I don't cry because of this team.
They suck. I mean, that should be the headline. They suck. They're terrible. I mean, even the Rangers beat these guys yesterday. I mean, the Rangers wore them out for us, and you still couldn't beat them. Stop having Halloween parties. Stop doing these. They're not stupid videos. They're kind of funny. Stop doing these videos. Stop doing all this. Stop doing all that. Focus. Focus. Yeah. There's a lack of focus. You know what? I think the Devils honestly need to have a moratorium. Like, they need to temporarily halt all their marketing efforts because I think it's a distraction at this point. All right? They're losing. So what's the point of marketing? You're going to be marketing crap. This team isn't good. People in Jersey, they can't be easily fooled. This team is not good. I want to see them practicing harder. I want to see more of that. I'm tired of Halloween photos and doing this, doing that. Hey, Gritty, you were right. I could do better. This and that. Stop it. You're entitled to have fun. Weird. But this is not fun losing right now.
They didn't even tweet that they lost.
Really?
That's weird. That's weird, right? They usually tweet at least that they lost, and find it very strange that they just skipped it entirely. That they're like, we're not going to say anything about it. Because I was looking for it. I'm like, okay, well, let me go directly to it, and nothing. I don't know if are they hiding from the comments they're going to get, or are the Twitter people over it? Are the Twitter people just like, I don't have anything to say. Nothing good to say, Sam, so we're not going to tweet anything. We're just going to wait for people to add us anyway. They're going to add us and yell at us. They don't play for the team. Sam, I'm losing my voice here, and
Stephen writes 7 goals on 23 shots. Hey, maybe I'll tweet on the Let's Go Devils pod account. They blow. Devils lose in OT.
Let's just play our game, Sam.
You want to play the game? Let's play the game.
Let's go play the game.
Why don't you talk to Facebook Live? I'll try to get our guest on. All right, so let me just mute myself. Nick.
Yeah, goalie Tim Clark Callahan says goalie tryouts. I'm ready, coach. Well, Tim, I mean, 7 goals and 23 shots is awful. That is just I've been a Corey apologist even when he went through his worst situation, and I don't have anything for this. Is he hurt again? I don't get it. What's going on? Like, that's terrible. That is terrible. Roger 7 goals and 23 shots for Tim. Yeah, like I was saying, that's how do you do that? Like, these aren't a lot of these were savable shots too. Ramon Rice says PK sucks. That's actually not true. I think PK is trying to do too much. There's times where he's looked like one of the best defensemen in the league out there. David Decker. Yeah, people are turning on PK in the chat. I wouldn't turn on PK yet. It's clear that he's trying to be everything and more, and he's making mistakes because of it. Hull done not doing nothing. Hull leads the team in assists, so that's not nothing. You can't 6 goals. You can't have a team that scores 6 goals and lose. You can't. You can't do it. You just can't. That's insane. My brain hurts just thinking about that. And that's just another blown lead loss at home. These home games were important. This October schedule is important. These points count just the same as they do in April. And you had, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You had 8 home games this month. In those 8 home games, you've won 2 of them. And in all, I'm sorry, I miscounted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You had 7 home games. You won 2 of them. Okay. So that leaves 5 that you lost. In all 5 of those games, you were winning. In 4 of those 5 games, you're winning by multiple goals. In the other one, the game you weren't winning by multiple goals, you had a lead with 1 minute and 20 seconds left. This team is pathetic. And I'm saying things that I probably shouldn't be saying right now. Probably saying too much. I'm probably going to hurt a chance of getting guests in the future because I just can't live on with this team breaking my heart daily. Guys, if you want to wear the scariest costume tomorrow for Halloween, dress up as the New Jersey Devils because there's nothing scarier than them with a 2-goal lead. Nothing in this world is scarier than the Devils with a 2-goal lead. That is your Halloween costume.
Well, Nick.
Sam?
I don't know how I'm going to play this game. I'm so mad right now. But I just gotta focus as what I've been preaching all night. Focus. On the Bobby's Auto Care hotline, we have Steve Palumbo. Steve, how are you doing this evening?
I was doing okay a little while ago until the game ended and my heart was broken again. But I am at the Anaheim Ducks Fan Fest right now, so it's not too bad of a night.
Well, Steve, that's good to know that you're at least having a little distraction. Say hi to Rico for us. We miss him.
Yeah, I already got to speak to him tonight, and I showed him the score, and he just shook his head. So, he still follows the team, so you guys can take heart in that.
Oh, I'm happy to know that other people are sad like us. But now that we have you on, I guess we could try to be a little positive, and I will explain tonight's game. So, as many of the podcast people know, tonight's overall theme was marriage, and tomorrow is Halloween. So, for our mini moon, which is the thing, me and my now wife went to Salem, Massachusetts, which is home of the Salem witch trials. Now, the Salem witch trials were when people thought that they didn't really think it, but they made it sound like people were getting possessed by the devil. And we're the New Jersey Devils. So clearly, I'm going to make a direct correlation between the Salem witch trials and the New Jersey Devils. So I'm going to ask each of you 2 multiple choice questions tied to the Salem witch trials and New Jersey Devils. And whoever scores the most will win today's challenge. There is a tiebreaker question that is only about the Salem witch trials that I just found funny. So, Steve, are you ready?
As ready as I'm going to be. I didn't really brush up on my witch history, but I'll do my best.
Well, it's mostly Devil's history, so you should be okay. But either way, so the Salem witch trials lasted from the years 1692 to 1693, where they ended, and everybody apologized because this is really stupid. 300 years later, the New Jersey Devils played their last season before going on a magical run that included 3 Stanley Cups and multiple deep playoff runs. Now, the 1992-93 season was very interesting and had a lot of interesting names at the top of the score sheet. The people who scored the 4 most amount of points for the Devils that year were Alexander Semick, Claude Lemieux, Stéphane I never know how to say his name. Richer or Richer? Which one is it, Sam?
Richer.
Stéphane Richer, and then
that one's my bad.
Alexander
and then
Seamock, right? Was that what you said? Or?
Yeah, is that what I said? I thought that's what I said. Oh. But and then Valery Zelepukin. Okay. So Steve, of those 4 players, which one had the most points that year?
Most points in 92-93. For some reason, Zelepukin keeps coming to me, but I'm going to go with Stéphane Richer.
Ooh, Claude Lemieux had 81 points that year, and a very outlier year for that man.
Wow.
Sign of things to come, though, because 2 years later, he would lead the New Jersey Devils in points in the postseason on their way to the Stanley Cup. So, but okay, Sam, this is your chance to take the lead. So 20 people were executed after the Salem witch trials. The current number 20 for the New Jersey Devils is Blake Coleman. How many goals did Blake Coleman score when he was 20 years old, his freshman season at Miami of Ohio University? I'm sorry, this is how many points. How many points did he score when he was 20 years old, his freshman season at the Miami of Ohio University? Was it 23, 25, 27, or 15?
27.
Close. 23. I guess the one of those would have been close. We're all close. 23 is the answer. So, Steve, you have a chance to take the lead here. It's not a 2-goal lead, so maybe you'll be able to hold on to it. The Salem witch trials caused hysteria across Massachusetts, with people exposing others and trying to call everybody a witch. The New Jersey Devils Stanley Cup did not cause hysteria, famously because they did the parade in a parking lot. How many people were estimated to have gone to the 2000 Devils Stanley Cup parade? Is it 35,000, 45,000, 55,000, or 65,000 people?
35,000.
Unfortunately, that's incorrect. The correct answer is 45,000 people were estimated, according to a New York Times article from 2003. So here's your chance, Sam. And this is kind of a softball, so I apologize to Steve. I might be giving this to Sam, but Abigail Williams was one of the women blamed for starting the Salem witch hysteria Many say because she was bored with her life and wanted to just kind of feel some power. So she made up that she felt that other people were witches and was one of the main scapegoats in the whole thing. Now, funnily enough, the Devil's General Twitter account, also out of boredom, would start their tweets with "Dearest Abigail." Hopefully not talking about Abigail Williams, but possibly. Now, which former player was that Twitter account depicting? Was it Cam Jansen, Steve Santini, Kyle Palmieri, or Marcus Johansson?
That is such an easy question. I almost want to give an odd answer, but I need to take the lead so I can blow it like my favorite team, Johansson.
Okay, well, yeah, that was an easy one. So, since that was an easy one, I'll give Steve the tie-breaking question that is just about solely the Salem witch trials. And if you could get this one, Sam, I'm going to give him the win because it's my game. And this one's a hard one. So, Steve, there was a study done in the Journal of Science back in 1976 that blamed the symptoms of witchcraft on a fungus. Now, was that fungus called ergot, snakeskin grisette, powdery piggyback, or drab tooth? And yes, these are all real names of funguses.
Wow, you really went deep in the well for this one. Just because I can't remember the name, I'm going to go with the first one you said.
Sam, he wins the game. He got it right.
Did I blow it?
It was
Did
ergot.
I just blow the game? Did I just blow the game?
Sam Wu blew his lead.
Oh my God! You know what? Fire me! Just fire me! I stink like my team.
True devil fashion.
Yes.
So, Steve, before you go, do you have any advice on how we can fix this Devils team?
Oof, that is the $1 million question. Right now, I the easy one. People want to point the finger at the coaches. They want to point fingers at the goalies. Simply, this team just doesn't have any confidence, and they seem to have even less confidence when they have the lead. So, I mean, something has to be done. Some kind of move. It's in Ray Shiro's hands right now, because as it is right now, with all this time off, they should have been prepared to hold the lead. And when you get a 2-goal lead in the third period, this team used to be unbeatable, and now you just got to kind of duck and cover. I turned the game off when they took the lead because I didn't want to see them implode. And next thing I knew, they were down 6-5. So, I mean, everyone is just scratching their heads right now. This isn't. I mean, I'm at a loss for words. I'm embarrassed too.
Well, Steve, I really appreciate you coming on this terrible night. Hopefully next time we see you, we have more positive things to talk about, and maybe a lot less witches, but probably more devils.
All right, guys. It was a pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Steve. That Steve Palumbo at the Anaheim Ducks party talking to Adam Henrique. He's probably like, oh, thank goodness I'm not on that team blowing it all the time. I remember those days. Oh.
Yeah, I got nothing. I don't know what to say, Sam. I'm really out of.
I mean, you know what's very concerning to me?
Everything.
They had how many days to fix this problem? You know, how many days? You had only one game, and now the Flyers are coming into town. When the Flyers come into town, usually their fans come too. And I always call those games body armor day.
But
this
hey,
is not good.
Sam, let's be positive. We're no longer in the basement of the Eastern Conference. We're better than Ottawa. Yeah. Sam, this is terrible. I want to cry.
What a way to start off the podcast. They score, then they just blew it, then they tied it up just to prolong the misery, and then they lost it. Not good.
Like,
Not good.
If they keep doing this for another 2 weeks, something needs to change. That's all I'll say.
Have you checked the Devils' Twitter account recently? I'm going to check right now.
They're tweeting quotes.
But they didn't tweet that they lost?
Nope, I just see quotes.
Let's read some of these quotes from Taylor Hall. Bad bounces happen to every team. Every team has to overcome them. You can't feel sorry for yourself at this point. Not bad. Not bad.
I feel sorry for myself, Sam.
Yeah. PK Subban. We should have won this game. I feel like a lack of me playing up to the level I'm capable of really hurt us today.
He wasn't the great guy we expected today. He made a couple mistakes. But I mean, at the end of the day, they had 23 shots. 23, Sam. We scored 6 goals and we held them to 23 shots.
Well, here's the Devils tweet 15 minutes ago. Colin Palmieri completed the hat trick with less than 8 seconds remaining. It descended to OT, but NJ Devils couldn't secure the extra point.
Oh, is there an article tied to that?
Yeah. Well,
yeah, that's why they sent that one out.
You know, I just rather have them be blood about. We lost. We blew it. But, you know, that's a fancy way of describing what happened tonight. Unbelievable.
All right, Sam. Well, I think that's all I got.
Is that all you got? All right. Well, let me just look right here on social media. See if Beer Baron says anything. No, he has nothing to say. We've got a lot of comments tonight in the Facebook Live. I'd like to thank some of the listeners and viewers that were tuning in while they were at the game. That's kind of cool. That's really kind of cool that they did that. Appreciate that. Nick, it was a tough podcast tonight. I think we kept it. Yeah. Kept it going. But we got the Flyers on Friday and Carolina on Saturday. I'm actually going to the Carolina game on Saturday. Heading down.
Good for you. Now, I will say this one thing before we leave, Sam.
Yep.
It's not over yet. This November stretch could turn things around. But imagine how nice it would be if we only blew half of these leads and we had an extra 3 points right now. Like, think about that. If the Devils had an extra 3 points right now, they'd be better than the Rangers, which is more than I could say right now.
Yep. Well, I'd like to thank all the people tuning in today. Sorry we couldn't be leave the podcast on a happier note. It wasn't our fault. We showed up, right, Nick? The fans showed up.
I feel like I scored 6 goals tonight on this podcast.
No, you didn't. You let Steve win that game on purpose.
It's because you didn't send me a wedding gift.
Oh no! Actually, that's in the works right now. It was supposed to be a surprise. I just can't tell you what it is. No, I'm dead serious. There was some logistical problems with it, so you can imagine what we're sending. The whole crew.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. All right. Was that a hint? You better ship it now, or else you're going on strike.
You're just gonna lose. I'm gonna find ways for you to lose every game.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Till next time. Let's go, Devils!